Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everybody.
This is Heritage Radio 90.6 FM with...
I'm Angela.
And I'm Safiya. And this is The Wellness Show.
The Wellness Show. Safiya is a black belt Taekwondo master.
Nearly, well, yes, it depends. We're not really called masters at that level, but I'm actually preparing my third dan.
MashaAllah.
So I'm getting close to that.
And I'm a nutritionist, so on the basis of that, we talk about nutrition.
Yeah. We've gone through a lot of different subjects over the weeks. You can see everything on our YouTube channel, Wellness with Angela and Safiya. We are also on Spotify and Stitcher, if these are platforms that you prefer to use, where you can just listen to it as a podcast. So yeah, we've got a good 30 odd
I think it's 37.
Something
37,
like that,
yeah.
So we cover everything. From mental wellness, spiritual wellness, physical wellness, also nutrition.
We've talked about parenting.
Yeah. So do head over our YouTube channel, subscribe, like, share, comment.
And give us ideas if you want of topics for us to cover. We'll try our best. And we're going to say that we're not doctors, so if anything we say is for information and is for you to do some more research and talk to your health professional before you make any decisions. And because we're talking about vitamin B today, the complex, I just wanted to say that don't just go out there and buy vitamins nilly-willy. First, you should do a blood test if you can to see what vitamins you're missing, because it's better to get your vitamins from your food. And vitamins should be a supplement being the key word. And when you do end up having to buy vitamins, try to get from reputable brands, and that's up to you to do your research. We don't promote any products or anything. We just talk about the benefits.
Yes, definitely. Very important reminder. Thank you, Angela. So today you said you were going to talk about vitamin B. I say you, I mean obviously we are, but you being, with your background as a nutritionist, you have an understanding that, I may not have, so this is where it's kind of more your side of things.
I'm still learning. There's always new things coming out, and you have to be reading and studying, and if you haven't memorized something, obviously you have to refresh. So talking about that, when we are talking, I might need to check on my notes, so if you hear paper shuffling, please forgive that noise, because we want to give the proper information, and we do have to read things that we've researched and printed out.
Definitely good thing to do. So Angela, off you go. What are vitamin D?
So vitamin B's, it's a complex. B's
is a bravo.
Yeah. Well, first of all, vitamins themselves are nutrients that your body cannot produce, and you need to get it from outside sources, preferably food, and they help. They're needed in small quantities, and they help your body with all kinds of reactions and building blocks and all kinds of function. Now, B vitamins are very necessary, mostly for energy production in different forms in the cell, and building cells and health and things like that. So I'm gonna just tell you about the vitamin B's we're gonna be talking about first. Okay, so you might have heard of these. There's thiamine, which is B1, riboflavin, B2. By the way, I might be saying them with a Canadian accent, and in the UK you might be saying it differently. So Safiya, if you know how you say it differently here.
Well, as far as I know, it starts with vitamin. We don't say vitamin.
Oh.
So that's it.
I had made a mental note today about saying vitamin.
Don't worry, Angela, we love the
but
accent.
I say vitamins.
It's like my French accent. I'm sure lots of words are pronounced in a weird way, but alhamdulillah.
So
the world is very varied. So
thiamine, B1, Riboflavin B2, niacin B3, pantothenic acid, I believe is B5. Correct me if I'm wrong, Safiya. We have B6, we have biotin, we have folate, which is B9, vitamin B12, very, very important.
What is this drug called?
By B12.
Oh, just B12. I thought.
The folate is B9.
Oh,
the
right,
one that
okay.
we.
Oh, biotin you said first.
Yeah,
before
biotin.
that, yeah.
Biotin.
Yeah.
B6, I believe, is. I forget the name.
Yeah, don't worry, because to be honest, we will also forget.
Yeah.
There's some of them are quite complex, and those vitamins B's, the way we sort of lay women, men and women know about them is more with the numbers, isn't it? All of them.
Yeah.
Especially B12, B6, B12, I think those are the most common ones.
And they're precursors to what your body needs. You need those for your body to make something in order to work and do what it needs to do. They're very, very, very important. Also, B vitamins, you should know that they're water soluble. If you guys remember talking about water soluble and fat soluble, water soluble do not get stored in your body, so you cannot overdose on them easily, as opposed to fat soluble ones. They get stored in your fat, and you need fat to eat them to be useful. But you can easily overdose on those. Are the A, D, E, and K vitamins. A, D, E, and K. The other ones are water soluble, and B vitamins is such vitamins. They're a group of 8 essential nutrients that play many roles in your organs and different bodily systems. Although they can work together in the body, they also carry out their own unique functions. And by the way, not everybody, that's why you need to do a blood test, so you know if you need to take it. There's some groups of people who need these vitamins more than others, as people, for example, pregnant women and nursing women need to have folate, the B vitamin, for the babies, for the fetus growth. Okay, so you need to take them. If you're a person who's an elderly person, you need them. If you are a person who has some genetic disorders, which your doctor will tell you. If you are following a restricted diet, such as being vegetarian or a vegan, you must supplement with B vitamins as well. And it's not a common thing in our community as far as I know, but we're not allowed to drink. But if you are drinking, also you are in danger of not getting enough B vitamins. So if you're not in those categories, you might still need B vitamins for some reason. That's why you have a blood test before you start guns blazing with all the vitamins that we tend to do without first checking if we need them, right? Okay, so let me tell you more about the B1 vitamin. Okay, B1. What?
So before you
go ahead.
into the details of the different vitamins, I thought it would be useful just to mention that my question I had before we started the show was why. We have vitamin D is one vitamin D. Vitamin C is another vitamin, whatever, another compound, etc. So why do we have vitamin B1, 2, 3, whatever? Why didn't they call them vitamin E, B, F, G, H? Why? And they say, because basically these are, they have similar names, B1, B2, B3, etc. But although they're chemically distinct compounds, they often coexist in the same foods. So they seem to have like a connection in that way. So I thought that was like an interesting.
Yeah, and somebody might even ask what happened to B4 and B8 and B11. Well, they used to have them, but then they recategorized them based on new information, and then they stopped calling them B vitamins.
So they were not these anymore. They were not part of that same family doing a similar role. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So.
That shows science basically is constantly evolving, isn't it?
And we need to be able to. It's not like a religion. Science is evolving, and we get new information every day. We cannot get dogmatic about it. And stick to old. What you knew 10 years ago is different.
Oh, very.
Right.
Very.
And it's amazing what we know now.
Definitely.
But anyways, so let me just quickly go. I don't want to bore you guys, but I just want to quickly, briefly mention each vitamin and what they're good for, and then we'll talk about sources and stuff.
Definitely a good idea.
Okay, so but in 15 minutes we're going to have a break, so let's hope we'll get through that. If you have any questions, stop me, Safiya.
Definitely. Go.
Okay, so thiamine, B1 vitamin. The heart, the liver, the kidney, the brain all contain high amounts of thiamine, and the body needs thiamine for breaking down sugar, carbohydrate. That's right. Carbohydrate molecules from your food. It creates certain neurotransmitters in your brain. It helps with producing fatty acids, and it synthesizes certain hormones, right? That's why, well, all vitamins are needed for synthesizing something, but in this case, B1 is very important. So people who, it's recommended for people who are trying to lose weight to take supplement with B1. I do. I do. I take it as a supplement.
Thiamine. Okay.
Yeah. Now, thiamine, where are you going to find thiamine? You find it, see, in fortified foods. And fortified foods is the stuff that they, like the whole grains, pasta, cereal, they should have them already in them, these grains. But because the process removes all the vitamins, then they fortify them with the vitamins, but not in the same way as they were originally. Anyway, something to think about. Trout, mussels, acorn squash, that's a type of squash that's well known in North America. And then legumes, different beans, as seeds and nuts. So they have thiamine 1. Vegetarians probably wouldn't be deficient in that because they have a lot of those products in their food. In their diet, sorry. But thiamine deficiency is not common. However, certain groups of people may not get enough. Includes people who we talked about before, who are alcohol dependent, older adults, people with diabetes, and people with heart failure, and those who have a bariatric surgery. You have to make sure you find out if you need to supplement with B1. Okay. Symptoms of thiamine deficiency. Safiya, you might know this: weight loss, little or no appetite, memory problems or confusion, heart problems, tingling, numbness in your hands and feet, loss of muscle mass, and poor reflexes. Now you would think B1 could do that.
No, just one little thing, but yeah.
I've seen on cereal boxes in the days when I used to buy cereal that it does have thiamine supplementation
It's got
fortified.
Added one, definitely.
So what's next? Any questions about? No. Let's talk about riboflavin, another vitamin that they fortify cereals with. Riboflavin.
Yeah, that's also a common one that we see on food, fortified food. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially cereals.
Yes.
I've seen it. Okay, it's important in energy production of your cells, helping your body break down fats, drugs, steroid hormones. It helps convert tryptophan into niacin, which is another vitamin, B3, and converting vitamin B6 into a coenzyme that the body needs. So it's so important to other vitamins. So it's like giving a helping hand. Foods with riboflavin. Very, very uncommon for a lot of people, but organ meats.
Oh, I love it.
You like organ meats?
I love organ meats. I know it's not very common. Some Asian
I'm not very.
dishes.
I don't really like them a lot, but I don't know how to cook them either. So maybe that's one of the reasons.
The trick, if you want to have, like, say, liver, is to cook it very lightly. Otherwise, it becomes hard and a bit dry. So you just cook it like the way we do it in France is. Just with butter. Remember, I said a long time ago in one of the shows that in France we have this rule: if you heat up, if you fry protein, like animal protein, you use animal protein as fat. So butter with meat, so with butter, then you just fried very quickly on each side, and with a little bit of lemon juice on top.
I'm gonna have to
Lemon
try
juice.
the French
Lovely,
way
lovely,
then.
lovely, lovely.
Yeah.
Yes, delicious. Also, I know the Italians have it sometimes in their risotto as kidneys, like chicken kidneys.
No, the Turks and the Greeks have something called the kokoreç. The Greeks and kokoreç, the Turks, and that's an organ meat dish.
Yeah, and
that's
also,
grilled.
Yeah, you find it in Turkey actually.
I wouldn't mind having it in that form.
And then also another way of having liver is liver pate, and it's so easy to make.
You got to teach me, because I was thinking,
easy.
right, that's
Delicious.
that topic just today in the car coming here.
So with chicken liver, and then lots of butter, and then flavoring like spices, cumin, I think, generally salt and pepper again, and you just blend it all together. It's delicious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's continue to read.
Some people have liver raw actually.
Liver raw.
Raw liver, yeah.
Raw. Raw.
No,
Raw.
raw.
It sounded like you said.
ROE, yeah. Raw.
Yeah, like the eggs.
No.
They come into
Liver.
eggs.
No, sorry, apologies. Liver, raw liver. I should put the
Raw.
raw liver.
Raw.
Oh, my poor listeners, between Angela's Canadian accent and my French accent. It's not always easy.
Well,
but you got it now.
so
I meant raw liver.
riboflavin comes in organ meats, fortified breakfast cereals, oatmeal, yogurt and milk, mushrooms and almonds, to name a few. Symptoms of riboflavin deficiency. Oh boy, it is rare, but when it occurs, a person has an endocrine disorder. Endocrine means
Hormone.
your hormones,
yeah.
okay? Such as thyroid problems or certain other conditions, which we're not going to go into quite detail. A person who is deficient in riboflavin may experience skin disorders, sores at the corners of the mouth, swelling in the mouth and throat, swollen, cracked lips, hair loss, red, itchy eyes.
So that would be really someone who's very, very, who's got a very, very, here in the West, okay? Say, have a really very bad diet. I mean, possibly someone who has an eating disorder.
Well,
And
if you think
also-
about it, a lot of people, a lot of the disorders, the diseases we have are lifestyle diseases,
Yeah.
but they don't call them like that. So how about, for example, eczema? Nobody talks about that it's a lifestyle disorder. They just give you a cream and send you home. But there is a deficiency of some form of some vitamins, like maybe B5, I think, the pantothenic acid, or niacin, and people have been taking them to improve their skin disorder, their eczema.
Yes, I am not surprised. A lot of the things, the manifestations on our skin is just one big organ, isn't it? And it's the external sort of connection between our external environment and the internal environment. And it can act as a shield, but it can also act as like it expels things. And so if things are not balanced inside your body, this is where it would, manifest itself. It's like you say, you eat too much chocolate and you end up with spots on your.
Well, whenever I see that, I tell my kids it's a hormone imbalance. The sugar caused. That's why you're having a breakout. That's how I see acne as.
Yeah.
Right. The main one, but eczema, it seems to be such a common problem these days, and it's like. That is not normal,
so we treat it with external help.
Yeah, and we don't try to find out the root cause of it.
And it's definitely not even treatment. It's more kind of trying to manage the symptoms. Yeah.
And in this day and age, you're able to do research and find out what other people are doing who've had good results.
True.
And so we have to do that. And then if you need to go to the doctor, take that information with you to the doctor. The doctor might not even know about it. And with him, you can work on a treatment plan.
Exactly.
Right? So those who are likely to be deficient could include people who are following a vegan diet or do not consume any dairy products, athletes who do not eat meat, especially those who do not eat dairy or other animal products, women who are pregnant or lactating, especially those who do not consume meat or dairy products. So riboflavin people in that category could be needing supplement. But again, the supplements have to be quality supplements, and only after you know that you need them. Okay. Then we have niacin, another fortified vitamin that you see fortification of in cereals and stuff. It's the B3. So the body does this. It converts the niacin into a coenzyme called a nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. Yes, it's a mouthful. That's why I have to have notes. NAD, short for NAD. NAD is a necessary part of more than 400 different enzyme reactions in the body, and the highest of all vitamin-derived coenzymes. These enzymes help with changing the energy in carbohydrates, fats, and proteins into a form the body can use. It's used in metabolic processes in the body cells, in communication among cells, so that's the nerve cells, communication, and expression of DNA in cells. Some fun foods that have niacin in them is meat, poultry, fish. They are high in NAD, which the body can easily use. So that's why vegetarians are at risk, or vegans especially. Plant-based foods, including nuts, legumes, and grains, contain a natural form of niacin that the body cannot use as easily. So manufacturers add niacin to foods such as cereals, and the body can easily use this form. But not all foods can have things added to them. So we really must make an effort when we're cooking, you know. So what are the symptoms if you have a niacin deficiency? Getting too little niacin can cause a niacin deficiency, and severe niacin deficiency can lead to pellagra, something that may cause a brown discoloration of your skin when it's exposed to sunlight, patches of skin with a rough appearance, a bright red tongue, severe symptoms like vomiting, diarrhea, or constipation, headaches, and fatigue. I mean, but those symptoms could really indicate other things too. So I don't think you necessarily right away think it's the vitamin deficiency.
But again, if you can't find the reason why you are like this, then it could be something to look at.
Right. So, people at risk of niacin deficiency include those who have malnutrition, anorexia nervosa, alcohol use, AIDS, inflammatory bowel disease, carcinoid syndrome, which causes tumors that develop into the gastrointestinal tract. That's serious. You have to try really hard to be deficient, though. Like, your diet neatly has to be really, like, completely standard. SAD. What does SAD stand for again?
Standard American diet, isn't it?
Yeah, the SAD. It's very sad. Anyways, moving on to the pantothenic acid, B5. By the way, Safiya, do you take any B vitamins?
In my multivitamins, yes, they are B vitamins. I've got, like, I just take
And how do you know it's the right amount? Like, do you just, you know you're not deficient, so you just take some for topping up?
Yeah, exactly, for topping up. Because as we talked about last time, we talked about vitamins. Remember, we said that the food that we eat, the crops, you know, have lost a lot of their natural ingredients in vitamins and minerals. We talked about potatoes,
the nutrients, yeah,
that have lost like 75% of its minerals content over the last 50, 70 years because of intense farming and pesticide use and transport and all of this. You know, it takes so long now for most fruits, especially fruits in this country, for fruits to travel from where they've been produced to our plate or our supermarkets, and in cold conditions they've been picked much earlier than they would in normal circumstances for a local market. So they're not as, you know, if you look at, how much does a kiwi contain, it's got all this amazing vitamin C and this and that, but not necessarily the kiwi we can eat here in Britain. I mean, the kiwi that you can pluck out of a tree and buy from a local market, and it's come local, yes, probably has most of that. So this is why, yeah, I always like to. I've noticed a difference in my energy levels, and generally speaking, I've been doing that for 10 years. But again, I researched. I don't buy them from supermarkets. I buy them online from a reputable manufacturer. That's it. You have to do your own.
You do. So moving on to pantothenic acid, B vitamin. Pantothenic acid is necessary for the body to create new coenzymes, proteins, and fats. It helps with the red blood cells because they carry the pantothenic acid throughout the body, so you can use the nutrient in a variety of processes for energy and metabolism. Okay, did that make sense? All right, so foods with pantothenic acid. Many foods contain at least one pantothenic acid, but some of the highest amounts are present in shiitake mushrooms, which I never see at the supermarket. You probably have to buy them in powder form. Or you mean Asian, East Asian. You mean Chinese shops, because that doesn't mean anything to me. East Asian. Sunflower seeds. Apparently 1 ounce of sunflower seed, you get like a really high amount of your RDA. But I can't tell you right now for sure the percentage, but it's a high amount, so it's good for vegetarians. Chicken has pantothenic acid, tuna, avocados, fortified breakfast cereals. Well, that fortified cereals has everything in it, right? Even iron.
Yeah.
So, anyway, some
naturally in foods, it's what did you say? Avocado, and
tuna, and chicken,
and that's really easy to find.
Yeah. So. Okay, so the symptoms, if you have a deficiency, could include numbness and burning of the hands and feet, headaches, irritability, restlessness and poor sleep, a lack of appetite. That's a dream of a lot of people, not to have an appetite.
Yeah, but that would be chronic or basically.
That would be
really
dangerous. Okay, so people with a specific gene mutation, though, could have a pantothenate kinase associated neurodegeneration. And well, that's such a rare thing. But anyways, that's how you can have a deficiency in that.
So what I'd like to say, just before you continue on the B vitamins, is that when we talk about RDA, or recommended daily amounts, it's basically most of these minimal amount that the body needs are based on post-World War II amount, where they tested the population and realized, this is really they're lacking all of these vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin Bs, whatever, and this is the absolute minimum that you need to survive. So sometimes you see on the box is RDA or the minimum amount, and it's basically the absolute minimum you need to not have those severe diseases that Angela's been you've been reading.
Yeah.
For each vitamins, the kind of things that you would feel. So it may not be that you might have all of these extreme symptoms, but you might still be depleted in a way that your body then does not function in the optimal way. Yes, you're not going to necessarily have rickets or scurvies, but still you could have more vitamin C because you keep on becoming ill. You have everything that goes around. You have, at the moment, it's the norovirus is back. Stomach bugs and sore throat. COVID is poking its head again. So upping all of these vitamins will help your body just function at its optimal level rather than just surviving with basic levels. That was my little reminder. But reminder, side disclaimer, we are no doctors. So if you wish to make any changes to your lifestyle based on anything that we have mentioned, you must speak to your healthcare professional, whoever that is. But don't take it just from us. Do your own research.
Very good advice, Safiya.
So Angela, we had a look at vitamin B1 to B5, I think.
Yeah, we went up to B5. Now we're going to be doing B6.
So this vitamin, has it got a name?
It does. It's called pyridoxine, so it's not the common name.
So that's exactly. Some of them we know them more as number.
Yeah.
And others more as names. Like niacin.
Yeah. Like I know niacin and.
But B6. No,
but B6 no, and it's pyridoxine, and it plays such an important role. It's a coenzyme in 100 reactions. It causes 100. It's important in 100 enzyme reactions. and it's needed for amino acid metabolism, which you guys know it's about protein. It has to do with protein metabolism. It helps break down carbohydrates and fats. It's important in brain development and immune function. Very important. Now you'll find it in organ meats. It's like the top food for B vitamins, you guys. And yeah, that's all I can say. And then after that is chickpeas, tuna, salmon, poultry, which is chicken, in case somebody didn't know, potatoes, and again fortified cereals.
Yeah, those ones obviously.
And the symptoms, the deficiency, like symptoms for a deficiency is anemia, scaling of the lips. Have you seen that? I haven't. I've only seen anemia, but they don't normally advise B6. They normally give them iron. But anyways, cracks in the corners of your mouth, swollen tongue, weakened immune system, confusion, depression. So apparently, there's more studies about B vitamins being like, if you're depressed, it could have something to do with B vitamins. So it's good to supplement with B vitamins if you are diagnosed that you're depressed and you're taking meds. You should also look into and talk to your doctor about taking B vitamins, okay? People at risk of a B6 deficiency include those who have a renal kidney disease, had a kidney transplant, celiac disease, Crohn's disease, ulcerative disease, ulcerative colitis, autoimmune disorders such as rheumatoid arthritis, and people who are alcohol dependent. And you notice all those, a lot of things they have in common is the GI tract,
Yes,
right?
Indeed.
So some people who have problems in that area cannot digest their vitamins, and that's what happens. You need supplements somehow. You need to look into it. Okay, biotin. A lot of women might know this vitamin. It's actually B7. I know it as biotin, right? And what do you know it for, Safiya? Biotin?
Don't.
You don't. It's so common for hair. People who have hair loss, they're told to take biotin.
Of course.
Yeah. Anyways, manufacturers add biotin to many hair and skin and nail supplements. Okay. Some people believe that biotin may help with psoriasis. Is that how you read it? Psoriasis or psoriasis? It's a Greek word, so I can't say it in English properly.
Yes, the Greek way would be with the P.
No, there's a Greek letter.
Yeah.
That's not in any other, I don't know, any other language. It's a PS together. That makes the sign. That makes the sound, psoriasis. Yeah. But in English, they can only say it with a P and an S.
It's quite hard to say PS together, whereas in French, we do say both letters.
Do you?
Yes.
Say it.
Psoriasis.
With a P and S?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like psychology. Psychology.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyways, and the biotin is needed for breaking down fats, carbohydrates, protein, and it improves communication among the cells. So that indicates the neurotransmitters, and it helps with regulating of the DNA. And where are we gonna find biotin in? Give me the top food, Safiya.
I have no idea.
Organ meats, remember?
Again, my favorite. You're encouraging me to have, because my family doesn't really like liver and kidney.
I think the trick is for us to find a recipe. Maybe we can get organ meats, make a pate, and put it in the fridge and use it and eat it.
I've done that in the past, but they're like, look at me like with disgusted looks. Maybe my husband might taste it, because
you don't have to tell them what it is.
Oh yeah. You can't trick children anymore.
Or figure out how to make that Turkish Greek food, kokoreç, but that's a lot of work. I need to buy it.
You know the look children have when you put a plate out and it's something a bit different. They're like, what is it?
Yeah, I know.
Even adult children. I'm not talking about little kiddies.
Yeah,
like,
no.
What's this? What has it got in?
Exactly.
And then
Now they know
keep on bringing it.
everything.
And you-
Are you sure it's not one of those
And then
non-sweet desserts? Because if it's not real dessert,
Yeah,
I mean
exactly.
sweet,
And-
it's not real sugar. I don't want it.
And
It's
we've
like,
not been
okay.
allowed to. We're not allowed to lie to our on that level. on that.
It's too late.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. They have to come to it themselves. So organ meats, biotin is in organ meats, eggs, salmon, beef, and sunflower
That's
seeds.
okay. We need plenty of the rest.
Yeah, it's the organ meats that's the very important, very, very, very important. So
Organ meat,
symptoms.
obviously, just as an aside, is very, very important for iron.
Yeah, for that. So if you have a biotin deficiency, the signs are thinning of your hair, scaly rash around your eyes, nose, and mouth, brittle nails. If you're depressed, it could be an indication of that too, and fatigue, a lot of tiredness. So, what's next? B9, which is
You're going
folate.
to folate. I'm really. This is why, listeners, Angela is doing this session because.
And that's the
she's
one
got
they
the
give
knowledge and I
you
don't.
when you're pregnant. When you're, they
That's
tell
right.
you to
Yeah, you
stop
see-
taking when you're going to get pregnant. 6 months before
Yeah.
that, start taking the pregnancy
Yeah,
vitamins.
which is folic acid. I know it has folic
Yeah,
acid.
and it's the B9 one.
All right,
Okay.
So I'll try and remember that now. They're the same.
Folic acid, which is present in fortified foods and some supplements, is a synthetic form of the vitamin, whatever, because most people cannot take it in, cannot take enough green leafy vegetables for the levels needed in pregnancy. So you have to supplement. Okay, when a woman has high enough levels of folate both before and during pregnancy, the fetus has a lower risk of certain birth defects. So, very important for women. Okay, it affects the spinal cord and the brain. So, young ladies, start supplementing. Okay.
Or eat those good foods.
Or eat, yeah. So folate is essential for DNA replication, metabolism of vitamins. Notice I did the British version. Metabolism of amino acids and proper cell division. So foods with folate, they are enriched grain products with it, because we don't get it enough. So people, they're worried that the government is worried we're going to have birth defects. So they make manufacturers to supplement it in a lot of products. People can get folic acid from fortified breads and cereals, and naturally you can get it from dark leafy vegetables like spinach. So apparently 3 cups of cooked spinach gets you 41% of your RDA. But imagine to get 100, who's going to eat that much spinach? No wonder they showed that character that had lots of spinach. Popeye, the sailor man, he had lots of spinach and he was strong. This is probably where that idea comes from.
Yes, and it was also supposed to have a lot of iron in there, but actually it's been shown that spinach doesn't have like such a huge amount of iron, but it's kind of stuck as and also he was always eating it from a can. Don't be fooled. When you eat something from a can, it barely has any benefit in there. But no, the way I have my spinach, to be honest, is throughout the day. I have, like this morning, I had an egg omelette, and I put spinach in. I just chop spinach and I put that inside my omelette and just fold the omelette over, and you just have it and just like basically wilts and cooks slightly with the hot egg. Chop it in salads as well. We don't think about spinach much as a raw salad ingredient, but it can. It's very, very nice, very crunchy. You can chop it very thinly, or you can have it like big leaves. If you buy the baby spinach, they're quite soft. So you don't have to buy the long, big leaves, bunches that you have in Asian shops. You can buy, obviously in packet again.
Well, they probably use it for curries, and it works for that.
Yeah, exactly. But then, like most vegetables, remember that the more you cook your vegetables, the more you kill the minerals and vitamins inside. You destroy, and adulterate them. So it's always best to have like lightly cooked or steamed vegetables to retain most of their benefit.
Okay, so other than spinach and other green vegetables, green leaf vegetables, the beef liver, apparently, the avocado, the papaya, the orange juice, the eggs, the beans, and the nuts.
So why did they say orange juice? That's what I find a bit surprising. Why did they say orange juice and not just oranges?
I don't know. I would not drink
Because
orange.
as we said again in the past, orange juice or any juice for that matter has removed all the fibers that help you digest.
Yeah. So probably
And
it's still in there, but
I think it's probably
perhaps.
because it's been fortified.
You're right.
They probably added.
Yeah, but I don't like orange juice because it makes me.
It's just very sweet.
It's sweet and it makes me like feel terrible afterwards. Like within half an hour, I feel low blood sugars and lightheaded and stuff. So I wouldn't have it. You're right. It's probably fortified. So
Just have oranges.
have your oranges, you guys.
And if you like to drink them, squeeze an orange then, but keep the pulp.
But the pulp is
with it.
very good.
Even there was another. We digress. We love digressing on this show. When you have a pomegranate, I can't remember exactly the details, but I can find them again easily. We tend to get rid of that white skin that's in between the seeds. But
Isn't
that
it
is
called a
essential.
pith?
Yeah, but it's essential for the absorption of the goodness of the pomegranate.
Well, I think if you make juice with it, but when
It's the same with radishes. We buy radishes in France. You find bunches of radishes everywhere, but here they're always cut. But you have sometimes a little bit of that green, just a bit of green stalk left. Eat the green stalk. That helps you digest the radish.
wow.
Yeah.
Things we don't know. I mean, in these, France is a Western country too, but they still love their food. They
Whole.
food culture. They're proud of it, and that's one thing about France.
Every supermarket has
that-
bunches of carrots with the actual carrot leaves attached to them.
Yeah, that's something about France that you have to love. It's the food and how they're protecting it. As a Western country, they could really be a good example to other Western countries.
But again, as we go back, it's the fact that we are in an island, and you have to think of easy ways to transport all of these foods. Obviously, carrots, you have them around the corner. That's not an issue in Britain, but for other things. Whereas in France, you have different climates. You've got 4 different climates.
That's fine.
in the country. So you
But
have
remember,
all
now
of
there's
these
all
different
kinds of ways of there's technology and there's new knowledge of
Yeah,
how to
very
grow
true.
things, and between aquaponics and the other types of growing vegetables, there's ways to do it. It has to be though.
Permaculture, you mean?
A
like,
permaculture.
Which are basically wholesome. You
Yeah.
just reuse what you produce, and the waste you produce, you reuse
Yeah,
that.
and there's ways to protect the produce if it's possible. If there has to be like some kind of collective will for people doing it and proving that it's doable, we can produce our own food without having to come, from all over
Yes,
the
definitely.
place.
There are more and more research done into how to use plants, sort of indigenous plants, to protect against pests. And my sister-in-law is a case in point. She's got a small little patch of garden, but every single plant has a role. So it's either to protect another plant, get rid of pests, or it's got a role in nutrition or immune boosting properties or whatever. So it's really nice the way she's done it, and she's an expert in permaculture. She actually went to Bangkok a few days ago at a conference.
We need to interview her about
So
this.
exactly, this is the kind of people that would be nice to have on the show. So we're going to arrange that inshallah soon, so she can explain a bit more how you can have a more natural way of growing things in your garden. My other sister-in-law has no patch, but she uses a lot of pots. So there's there are a lot of things. They have a mother who's very much into growing her own things as well. So
It's knowledge that you can learn that from them, because I'm missing that information.
What do you call the ugly duck of the family? Because I'm imported anyway. There's no genes.
Well, I grew up with my grandmother doing, but I grew up also in Canada, and I missed that I didn't learn it from her because she was
Yeah.
old when I knew her, and my mom didn't have any of that knowledge.
Yeah.
So we need to get it
But
back.
it doesn't mean it can't be done. Exactly.
No.
You can learn. You can
Yeah,
learn if you really
exactly.
want to.
So
moving
just
on.
like that, we're gonna talk about folate deficiency symptoms. in addition to folic acid in grain products, and that makes it a very uncommon deficiency because of that, because they fortify everything. That means B6 is very, 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 very important
Yes.
if they're fortifying things with it. However, you could still get symptoms of folate deficiency, so that includes weakness, headache, heart palpitations, irritability, sores on the tongue of the mouth, skin, hair, or nail changes. It's definitely recommended that women increase their intake of folate and take folic acid supplements every day before becoming pregnant and during pregnancy. Other groups who may need extra folate include people who, again, are alcohol dependent, and that just shows
it destroys
how alcohol is. I don't know how they find any.
to absorb things.
Yeah, it's not good for you. Celiac disease, a GI disorder, conditions that interfere with nutrient absorption, and IBD. Okay. Next is B vitamin 12.
That has to be the last one, isn't it?
It is. It's the last one.
That's the last one, isn't it? B12 is not after that.
It's the last one, and it's very important as far as I know about it. One of the things that it's known for is that if you're a vegan or a vegetarian, you must make sure you supplement with B12, because this vitamin can only come from meat products and dairy products, and since you're vegan or vegetarian, you don't have it, you must supplement with it. It's very, very important. Okay, it comes even in injections. So another name for B12 is cobalamin. That's
so again, it's one of those like B6. We don't know its generic name. We just know
B12. Yeah, it's sometimes called cobalamin, and it's used for creating new red blood cells, DNA synthesis, brain and neurological function, fat and protein metabolism. And the foods, again, clams, beef liver, things that are not very common to a lot of us, salmon, beef, milk, and yogurt.
Yeah.
So, people who do not eat animal products may need to get their vitamin B12 from supplements, like I said earlier, and in fortified food, plus nutritional yeast. I forgot to say this even before.
Oh, yes.
Nutritional yeast is very good for everybody. It's full of B vitamins, all kinds of B vitamins, and you can put it on your.
It's so easy.
Sprinkle it on your
it's easy to
food,
find and easy to
and it
use.
tastes like cheese.
Yeah.
So it's good for you. So you can put it on things.
Like on your pasta dish, on everything. Really.
And that's where you can. The kids don't have to know you.
Thank you for
put it
reminding
in.
me, because I have it and I forget to use it.
Yeah, me too. But it's very good.
Put it somewhere obvious, like with your salt and pepper.
Right, you're right. I should do that because I did make a point of buying it. It's very good for you. So make sure you guys, especially you guys vegetarians and vegans, go grab some B12 yeast.
Nutritional yeast. You find them in the box.
So if you have a deficiency of this vitamin, you could get a condition called megaloblastic anemia, and symptoms include fatigue, weight loss, constipation, loss of appetite, numbness and tingling of the hands and feet, memory problems, and depression. And people who are at risk, most at risk, are those who have conditions that interfere with nutrient absorption, older adults, celiac disease, Crohn's disease, anyone who's had a gastric bypass on their stomach, and vegetarians, vegans, people who are pregnant and lactating may also need B12. And that's it.
Yeah. So there was an interesting case. A friend of mine, her son, was exactly like this, exactly as you described. Really, really tight. I mean, he was quite athletic. He was, training with us, and he was. How old was he? 17, something like that. 18, because he was in college, and completely. They just could not understand why, but he slowly, over a year, just became extremely lethargic, couldn't go into, missed so many days in college. He was just at a loss, and that caused really, obviously, a bit of depression, because when you don't understand what's happening with yourself and you're not your usual self, it's really, really hard. eventually, alhamdulillah, doctors did blood tests and realized he was depleted in vitamin B12. How? I don't know. It may have been that as a teenager, he was not really great with his diet. Maybe being in college, he was taking a lot of takeaways. I don't know the details of why. I can't remember really if they ever could pinpoint the reason why. It could have been just his body was just not processing things over the years. It just compounded.
Yeah.
And so he started having just simply injections of vitamin B12, and that was it. After a few weeks, he was, alhamdulillah, back to his usual self. So sometimes that's all it needs.
Yeah,
That's all it
it's
needs.
such
So
an
don't
important.
give up if you really feel weird. But just don't give up. Just insist. See your doctor. Get blood tests. Don't accept that they say, "Oh, it's just this. Oh, it might just be this." No, don't accept.
Or he's
that.
being lazy, or that's typical of his age, or
Yeah.
no, it's not.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I remind you about hormones. When you get older, as an older woman, you start with the perimenopause. You will struggle as well to absorb things the way you normally do. So again, have a look at things. Have a look at maybe some things you may be lacking in. Check your diet, as in check what you're eating. Go and see your doctor, get some tests done to see where you're at with your hormones and where your symptoms. Go and listen to our show on menopause as well to be reminded of a few things, and we might do a second one again, just generally on hormones. This was a show on hormones itself. We may do one specifically, really much more detailed on the menopause, and I would like to be able to find a doctor who would come and talk about it to us. But we've been reading a lot of books over the last few months about this subject, because obviously it touches us personally. So we should bring that information to you soon, inshallah. So this brings the end of today's show. Thank you, Angela. It was very technical, but it's not. I'm not saying this in a negative way, because I love technical stuff, as you know, and I think it's very important. We don't take enough time. We hear these things, these words, thrown in the air. We read them in packets. But to take the time to really go through all of them in our vitamins and mineral series, I think is essential for everyone to take control of their own health and understand how the body works. So we hope that you have enjoyed this show.
Yeah, and please give us feedback about it, and ideas also of what else you'd like to hear. We're looking forward to hearing from you guys.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.